Hi guys.
Hi.
I have the entire family, almost, here to talk more about ponds today. And I'm going to just take this for a second.
Right.
We should remember how to spell the word pond. Do you guys remember at home how to spell the word pond? P-O-N-D spells pond. Do you guys remember that? So we learned quite a little bit about ponds. I'm having Paige hold my place in the book. Put your hand in it.
I already have my hand.
Okay. We learned quite a bit about ponds. We learned that there's plants that, well, first we learned that a pond is kind of a small circular body of water that lots of things live in. It's not huge like an ocean, and it doesn't have salt water like an ocean. Do you know what kind of water is in a pond? Fresh water? Fresh water, like the water we kind of drink. It's not a winding river or stream. A pond is not a lake. A pond is smaller, a lot smaller, and lots of things live and grow in the pond. So we learned about some plants that live and grow in a pond. Do you guys know what this is?
That is a lily pad.
A lily pad. Lily pads grow in the pond because they like water. So they grow where there's a lot of water. And lots of animals like that lily pad. And then we learned about this one. Whoop, cattail. A cattail. And we learned about the life cycle of a frog, that a frog doesn't get born looking like this. A frog starts off as a what?
Tadpole.
A tadpole. Well, first it starts off as a egg, and then when it comes out of the egg, it's a tadpole. And then it grows back legs, and then it grows front legs, and it loses its tail, and it gets lungs so it can breathe the air and not just have to be in the water, and then it can hop around on land or be in the water, and it turns into a frog. So we learned about that. Today, I wanted to kind of talk about some of the bugs and insects that live in a pond, because that's part of a pond too. Not just the plants, not just the frogs, but the bugs and the insects that live in a pond. So do you guys know about any bugs or insects that live in a pond? It's okay
flies?
if you don't. Oh, yep, absolutely. Flies like to fly around a pond. And who likes to eat those flies?
Frogs.
The froggy likes to eat those flies. Anything else?
Sometimes there's different types of bugs.
There's lots of different kinds of bugs that live in a pond. And we're gonna talk about some of them right now. So, one of my favorite bugs that lives in a pond is this bug right here, guys. The whirligig. Can you guys say whirligig with me?
Whirligig.
Whirligig. I think it even has the coolest name in the world. And what's cool about a whirligig is that they sit right on top of the pond water, and they twirl and they swirl around. First they swirl this way, and then they stop, and then they swirl this way. And that's what they do all day long, is whirl and twirl. So they're a little black bug. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 legs and some antennas. And you know who probably likes to eat them?
Frogs.
Frogs. Frogs probably like to eat the whirligigs, and maybe even the duckies like to eat the whirligigs, and the fishies like to eat the whirligigs. But you know what whirligigs can do?
What?
They're, bless you, bless you. Whirligigs are very smart. So they know that if they, I made a little whirligig here, bless you. I made with a black body and 4 legs and the antennas on the top of the head. They know that if they don't want to get eaten by a fish or a frog or a ducky, that they can go by the plants in the pond and they can hide. The plants will protect them. So maybe they'll hide under a lily pad, or maybe they'll hide by the stem of the cattail. So they know that they can go hide, and the plants in the pond will protect them. So plants have a job in the pond, is to protect some of those bugs. So that's a whirligig. Another bug that lives in a pond that I kind of like is a diving beetle.
I've never really heard of that.
Yeah, a diving beetle is a brown bug. This one has 6 legs and big long antennas, and it's a bug that can dive down in the water. So it can sit on the top of the water, and then if it finds food, it can dive down. And you know what diving beetles like to eat?
No.
You know? They like to eat tadpoles. So sometimes they go diving around in the water looking for tadpoles to munch on. But you know where the tadpoles can hide?
Where?
Where do you think the tadpoles could hide?
Lily pads?
Yep, they could hide by the plants. They could hide under the lily pad or by the cattail or by any other kind of plant that's in the pond. They can hide and get protection from it. Do you know who might want to eat a diving beetle?
Frogs.
Maybe frogs, maybe duckies, maybe fishies. They have to be careful too and hide by the plants too. Does anybody know what kind of a bug this is or an insect this is?
I think I know.
What is it?
I think it's a fly.
It's not a fly, but that's a really good guess.
Oh, is that a dragonfly?
It's a dragonfly. So dragonflies are different than flies because they have really long tails. Really long, long tails. And they have 6 legs, and they're usually different colors. So this one is blue, but they could be kind of purplish or yellowish or greenish. They're usually some pretty colors. And they like to fly above the pond, and they like to look for things like whirligigs to eat. And they just pluck them right off the top of the pond. But they have to be careful because while they're flying and trying to eat those whirligigs, a frog might come along and eat that dragonfly up. But if the dragonfly is fast, he can fly away and the frog can't get him. Because can frogs fly?
No.
They can't. So the dragonfly is safe if he can fly away. But he's got to be careful for that froggy. And then there's also different kinds of bugs like water spiders, and they like to be on top of the water. There's all different kinds of bugs that live in a pond. So we've learned about plants that live in a pond, frogs that live in a pond, bugs and insects that live in a pond. So many different kinds of things that live in a pond. Isn't that pretty cool? Yeah. And we also learned that plants are really helpful in a pond because they can protect those bugs. And you know what else plants can do?
What can plants do?
They can be food.
Really?
So some of these bugs, like the water beetle, the diving beetle, he might like to eat and nibble on the plants. And the tadpoles like to nibble on the plants. And the dragonflies like to nibble on the plants. So they not only provide protection, but they can be food for these bugs and insects as well. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Did you guys know that?
No, I didn't know.
Pretty neat. Ponds are just the coolest thing because they help so many different animals and plants have a home. Isn't that neat? So here's what I want you guys to do. I am going to show you how to make your own whirligigs and your own diving beetles in a pond today. So watch the art demonstration and I can show you how to do that. Okie doke. See you soon.